This question is super annoying. Now, because it's about the graph, I know that the actual reasoning is supposed to be pretty easy, right? The graph is really the focus. But they make it one of these unpaired evidence questions where we need to go back to the passage. But the key is we can just go back to these lines and kind of treat them like they're answer choices. The whole passage isn't really going to matter. So this is a hurdle that we have to jump over, but it's not really about the passage. It's still about the graph. So let's just go to the lines. Let's do what we're supposed to do. So 30 to 33. One other thing. One thing that might help here is looking at the graph and trying to make a dumb summary of what it says. The challenge in this case is it says a lot, right? There's 3 bars, each bar is different colors, and then they have this stuff at the bottom, the 42, 36. It's hard to summarize this in a dumb way because there's just a lot of pieces. So I wouldn't do that here, but you might on another question where the graph is basically just like a line that goes up or down. You might say, okay, I'm going to summarize it before I go to the choices. So something to just keep in mind. So again, 30 to 33. Let's see what that says. Okay, that is here. In their emailed responses, some scientists cited deeper problems with the study or more pressing matters, but many also believe the journals just wouldn't be interested. So okay, this is really talking about whether or not they're busy or whether the journals are interested in the study. But notice that's not appearing on the graph anywhere. I don't see anything about people being busy. I don't see anything about the top journals being interested or not. It's just about whether it's being published. So this is bringing in things that might matter. But if they're not on the graph, they don't matter to me on this question. So this choice is definitely wrong. It's talking about things that I don't see reflected on the graph. It's that simple. 33 to 36. Let's keep going. B. The unfortunate reality of the publishing world is that null effects do not tell a clear story, said one scientist. Okay, like they talk about the null results, but I don't know what else would even be on the graph there. Like there's nothing about story on the graph. So maybe you think like this is a confusing choice. It doesn't say that much. This is another one of those cases I've done this a lot in this passage where my confusion is informing me about something. Confusion is good. The fact that I'm not really even taking anything away from that line is a good sign that it's probably not right because it's supposed to tell me something about the graph and I can't even imagine what the connection would be. So it's not a great sign. Let's look at C, 43 to 45. It's right here. Not unexpectedly, the statistical strength of the findings made a huge difference in whether they were ever published. Well, okay, whether or not things are published is absolutely on this graph, right? The legend here tells me it's distinguishing between times things were published and times that it wasn't published. So that's definitely talked about. And the statistical strength of the studies, well, they use the word strong here. So strong results got published more than null results, weak results. So notice there's something in that line that I can test. I can go to the graph and I can point to specific places where they seem to show that. That is a much different situation than B. B, I had nothing to look at. Maybe I was confused. Maybe it's right because I'm just too confused to understand it. Whereas C, I can point to things and prove it. So that's looking very, very good. Let's look at D though, 52 to 55. Here. It's a very important paper that starts to put numbers on things we want to understand, says economist Edward Miguel at the University of California, Berkeley. Well, this reminds me a lot of B. It's a random quote. I don't even know what they're saying. I got nothing to pull out of it. There you go. So C is definitely the answer. Again, I don't need to understand the complexities of the paper or the graph. I just see that the words that they're using in the choice are basically the same words that they're using on the graph. It's about the graph. It's not about the passage. Use the graph as your baseline and only try to understand the lines in as much as they help you understand the graph. The graph questions are about the graph. I cannot stress that enough.